Hello friends, welcome to Finance MCQ. I am CA Pritam Sangwan, and friends, today we will discuss about some of the important MCQs regarding Companies Amendment Act 2020, which is a very much relevant for your SEBI Grade A exam journal stream. So do watch this video till the end and let's begin. First question, on which date the Companies Amendment Act 2020 was passed and received President of India's accent? A. 26th September 2020, B. 27th September, C. 28th September, D. 29th September. So what's the correct answer? The correct answer is option C, 28th September 2020. Now let's move to the question number 2. If a prospectus is issued in contravention of provision of section 26, then every person who is knowingly a party to the issue of such prospectus shall be punishable with A. Imprisonment of maximum 3 years, B. Fine minimum 50,000 and maximum 3 lakh, C. Both imprisonment and fine, D. Either imprisonment or fine. So yes, what's the correct answer? Correct answer is option B, that is fine of minimum rupees 50,000 and maximum of rupees 3 lakh. Friends, prior to the amendment, it was punishable with either imprisonment or fine or both. So through this amendment, they have removed the imprisonment provisions. So if there is any contravention of provision of section 26, then he will be liable for a fine. So let's move to the question number 3. Question 3. In case of contravention of provisions related to section 40, securities to be dealt with in stock exchange, for every officer in default will be punishable with, that is in case of a contravention, every officer in default will be punishable with A. Imprisonment of maximum 1 year, B. Fine of minimum 50,000 and maximum 3 lakh, C. Both imprisonment and fine, or D. Either imprisonment or fine. So yes, what's the correct answer? The correct answer is option B, that is minimum fine of rupees 50,000 and maximum of rupees 3 lakh. And friends, prior to this amendment, every defaulting officer was punishable with either imprisonment or fine or both. So through this amendment, they remove the imprisonment provision from this section also, and they keep the penalty on the company same as it is. And friends, this section 40 speaks about company applying for listing of its securities. In that case, it shall make an application to one or more recognized stock exchanges for listing, and during that time, if any application money so received by them through issue of shares, they have to kept in separate bank account. And if any stock exchange reject the application for listing, then they have to refund that entire amount so collected by them. And if application for listing is accepted, then such money they can utilize for the adjustment against allotment. So I hope this section is also clear. So now let's move to the next question. Question 4. What is the punishment for violating provisions of section 48, that is variation of shareholders' right, as per the recently amended Companies Amendment Act 2020? Option A. Fine of minimum 25,000 and maximum 5 lakh. Option B. Minimum 50,000 fine and maximum 3 lakh. Option C. Fine 50,000 and 6 months imprisonment. Or option D. No penal provision. So yes, what's the correct answer? The correct answer is option D. No penal provision. Friends, section 48(5) regarding penal provision has been omitted through recent amendment. So prior to the amendment, contravention to this provision shall be punishable with fine of minimum 25,000 and maximum of 5 lakh. So through this amendment, they have removed this fine. So now there is no penal provision for this section. Question number 5. In case of a default under section 56, that is transfer and transmission of securities, company and every officer in default is liable for a fine of A. Company and officer both will be liable for minimum of 25,000 and maximum 5 lakh. B. Company liable for minimum fine of 25,000 and maximum 5 lakh, and officer in default liable for minimum fine of 10,000 and maximum 1 lakh. Or option C. Company and officer both will be liable for 50,000 rupees fine each. Option D, company liable for 1 lakh and officer liable for 75,000. So yes, what's the correct answer? The correct answer is option C, that is company and officer in default will be liable for a fine of rupees 50,000 each in case of a default under section 56. So prior to this amendment there was a imprisonment provision also, so they have removed that imprisonment provision. So I hope it is clear. Question number 6, in case of a default in complying with order of tribunal under section 59, that is rectification of register of member, company and every officer in default is liable for a company and officer will liable for fine of minimum 50 and maximum 1 lakh. Option B, company will be liable for fine minimum 50,000 and maximum 3 lakh, and officer will be liable for minimum 50,000 and maximum 1 lakh fine. Option C, that is either option B or imprisonment or both, or option D, no penal provision. So yes, what's the correct answer? The answer is option D, no penal provision. Friends, penal provision for default in complying of this section have been removed. So now there is no penal provision for default in complying with the order of tribunal under section 59. So just keep this in mind. So let's move to the next question. Question 7. How much time period is provided while sending notice to existing shareholders for accepting or rejecting the letter of offer for subscribing further issue of share capital under section 62 of the Companies Act? So friends, first just understand this question, what it means. It says if company wants to further issue share capital under section 62, they have to first offer the shares to existing shareholders for subscription. And how they do that? They do that through sending a letter of offer through a notice. So they are asking how much time period of that notice period should have. So the options are A, it should not be less than 15 days, B, such lesser days as may be prescribed, or C, not exceeding 30 days from date of offer, or D, all of the above. So yes, what's the correct answer? The answer is all of the above. Friends, earlier they used to say, earlier the time period for notice is not less than 15 days and it should not exceed 30 days from date of offer. So through this amendment they have added the word such lesser days as may be prescribed. So how it is read now? Not less than 15 days or such lesser days as may be prescribed. The government can say have to give at least 3-day notice. So that is such lesser days as may be prescribed. So they have added this word in the provision. So I hope it is clear. So let's move on to the next question. Question 8. In case of contravention of section 64, that is notice to be given to registrar for alteration of share capital, if it is a contravent, then company and every officer in default is liable for a fine of A, lower of rupees 1000 per day of default or rupees 5 lakh, B, lower of rupees 500 per day of default or rupees 1 lakh, whichever is less, C, lower of rupees 500 per day of default or rupees 5 lakh for company and 1 lakh for officer in default. That is the maximum limit, the lower of these two. Or option D, no penal provision. So yes, what's the correct answer? The correct answer is option C, that is lower of either rupees 500 per day of defaulted period or rupees subject to maximum limit for company 5 lakh and maximum limit for officer rupees 1 lakh. Friends, prior to amendment option A was applicable, that is only rupees lower of 1000 per day of default or rupees 5 lakh. Now they have bifurcated that for company maximum is 5 lakh and for officers maximum they can charge is rupees 1 lakh as a fine. So I hope it is clear. Question number 9. In case of failure to publish the order of reduction of share capital under section 66 as per the direction of tribunal, penalty on the company is fine of A, minimum 5 lakh maximum 25, B, minimum 1 lakh maximum 5, C, minimum 50,000 and maximum 3 lakh, or D, no penal provision. That is in case company make default in publishing the order of reduction of share capital as per the direction of tribunal, then the penalty is, yes, the answer is option D, no penal provision. That is, if company fails to publish, then there will not be any fine or penalty on the company. Same has been removed. Before that, there is a minimum fine of 5 lakh, maximum was 25 lakh. So I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 10. If company makes any default in complying with the provisions of section 68, that is power of company to purchase its own securities, then penalty on every officer in default is A. Imprisonment up to 3 years, B. Fine 1 lakh, maximum 3 lakh, C. Option A or B, that is imprisonment or fine or both, option D, no penal provision. So yes, what's the correct answer? The correct answer is option B, that is there will be a fine of minimum 1 lakh and maximum of 3 lakh in case of a default in complying with the provision of section 68 on every officer in default. And friends, through this amendment they have removed the imprisonment provision, so there will not be any imprisonment and no change in the fine on company and its officer. Question number 11. In case of any default in complying with the order of tribunal regarding debentures under section 71, then the penalty on company and every officer in default is A. Imprisonment up to 3 years, B. Fine minimum 2 lakh and maximum 5 lakh, C. Either imprisonment or fine, or option D. No penal provision. So yes, what's the correct answer? The correct answer is option D. There should not be any penal provision on the company or its officer. Friends, prior to this provision, prior to this amendment, option C, that is either imprisonment or fine was there. So through this amendment they have removed that both imprisonment as well as fine. So if there is any default in this section, then there will not be any penal provision. Question number 12. If company fails to comply with the provisions of section 124, that is unpaid dividend account, then penalty on company and every officer in default is a fine of A. On company minimum 1 lakh, maximum 10, and officer minimum 25, maximum 2 lakh, or option B, that is on company minimum 5, maximum 25, and on officer in default minimum 5, maximum 5. So here the minimum is 1 lakh, maximum is 5 lakh. Option C, for continued default, company 500 per day and officer rupees 100 per day subject to maximum limit. So option D, either option A along with option C, that is minimum maximum penalty plus continuing default penalty, or option E, that is option B or C. So yes, what's the correct answer? The answer is, that is option D. So what it is, it says that if in case of a fails to comply with the provision of section 124, company will be liable for a minimum fine of 1 lakh and maximum of rupees 10 lakh, and in case defaults continue, then rupees 500 per day for continued period of default, subject to the maximum limit of 10 lakh on company, and on officer in default minimum fine of 25,000, plus if it is continued default, then 100 per day subject to maximum limit of 2 lakh rupees. So I hope this penalty is clear. Friends, through this amendment, fine changed and penalty for per day continued default is added. So they have added this option C in the amendment. Prior to this amendment, option B, that there was only fine. So now they have added the continuing days default fine also in the provision. So I hope it is clear. Question number 13. If company makes any default in complying with the provisions of section 128, that is books of accounts to be kept by the company, that is for 8 years. That is, every company needs to maintain its books of accounts for at least 8 years. And if company fails to comply with that, then the penalty for contravention on every officer in default is A. Imprisonment up to 1 year, or B. Fine minimum 50,000 and maximum 5 lakh, or option C, that is either imprisonment or fine or both, or option D, no penal provision. So yes, what's the correct answer? The correct answer is option B. There should be a fine of minimum of rupees 50,000 and maximum of rupees 5 lakh. And again friend, through this amendment they have removed the imprisonment provision from this section. So now there will not be any imprisonment for violation of this section, only fine will be charged, and there is no change in the fine amount. So I hope it is clear. Question number 14. Section 129A of the company talks about option A, periodical financial statement, option B, audit of the company, option C, appointment of cost audit, Option D, constitution of CSR committee. So yes, what's the correct answer? The correct answer is option A, periodical financial results. Friends, it's a new section inserted through this amendment which says that central government may prescribe certain class of unlisted companies to prepare periodical financial results just like every listed company and submit it to the ROC. So what's happening currently, that every listed company have to prepare their accounts quarterly for a limited review, and they publish on the stock exchange and also submit to the ROC. But no unlisted companies or private company, they does not prepare their accounts periodically. So through this section, the central government may prescribe certain class of unlisted companies to prepare periodical financial results. So I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 15. If company fails to comply with the provisions of section 134, that is financial statements, board report, etc., then penalty on company and officer in default is A, company minimum of 50,000 fine, maximum 10 lakh, and officer minimum 25,000 and maximum 5 lakh, and along with that imprisonment which may extend up to 3 years, or both, that is fine and imprisonment for officer. Option B, on company a fine of 3 lakh and officer in default rupees 50,000, or option C, on company fine of 5 lakh and on officer rupees 1 lakh, or D, there is no penal provision. So yes, what's the correct answer? The correct answer is option B, that is on company rupees fine of 3 lakh and on officer in default rupees 50,000 fine. Friends, through this amendment, fine is fixed for both company and officer in default. Earlier they used to have a minimum and maximum fine concept, so removed that, and they also removed the imprisonment provision from the section. So now it's just the fixed fine for violating section 134, that is for company 3 lakh and for officer in default rupees 50,000. So just try to keep this in mind. So I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 16. If company spends excess amount, here it's written send, so just read as spend. By mistake it's written as send. If company spends excess amount then required for CSR expenditure under section 135, then treatment for such excess spending is A, excess spending can be adjusted against next year or subsequent financial year CSR liabilities. Option B, excess spending of current year cannot be adjusted. Option C, excess spending can be adjusted against normal expenditure for the next year, or D, no provision. So yes, what's the correct answer? So the correct answer is option A. So friends, here what happened, say in case of a CSR, every company who met the eligibility criteria need to spend at least 2% of their net profit on CSR activity. And now what they want to ask here is, say suppose if a company instead of 2% spends 5% more than what they required, so what happened to this 3%, what they can do with this 3%? So through this provision, what they did, they say that if you incur extra expenditure for current year, you can adjust that additional 3% in the subsequent financial years. So provisions were added that excess spending on CSR activity for current year can be adjusted for subsequent financial year CSR activity as may be specified in this regard. So I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 17. Unspent amount from an ongoing CSR project needs to be transferred to a separate account within 30 days and such amount to be utilized within 3 years. And if it is not utilized, then such amounts need to be transferred to a specific fund specified in Schedule 7. And contravention of any of these provision will attract a fine on A, on company lower of twice the amount to be transferred to such unspent CSR account, or 1 crore, whichever is the lower, or option B will be attract fine on officer in default lower of 1/10 of the amount transferred to such unspent CSR account, or rupees 2 lakh, or option C, that is either fine will be on the company or officer, or on both, or option D, no penal provision. So yes, what's the correct answer? The answer is option C. So there will be a fine on both company as well as officer in default. Friends, through this amendment, amount of fine is revised and also imprisonment provision on officer on default is also removed from this section. So I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to the question number 18. It says, if amount spent on CSR does not exceed by dash, then requirement of constitution of CSR committee is not applicable. So the options are option A 10 lakh, option B 50 lakh, option C 1 crore or 3 crore. So what's the correct answer? The correct answer is option B, rupees 50 lakh. Friends, here what they are saying, it is a new provision which inserted through this amendment, and here if you spent less than 50 lakhs, then you don't need to constitute a CSR committee to oversight all the CSR project or the CSR expenditure that your company is incurring. So you don't need to constitute that committee if your expenditures are less than 50 lakh. So I hope it is clear. Question number 19. If company fails to comply with the provisions of section 137, that is copy of financial statements to be filed with the registrar, then penalty on company and officer in default will be A. On company, fine of 10,000 and rupees 100 per day for defaulted period, maximum of rupees 2 lakh. B. On officer in default, fine of 5,000 plus 100 day for defaulting period, subject to maximum 1 lakh. Or option C, fine on officer rupees 10,000 and 100 per day for defaulting period, maximum of 50,000. Option D, fine on company or officer, or option B, that is on company 10,000 and officer 5,000, or option E, that is company 10,000 or officer 10,000 plus continuing default. So yes, what's the correct answer? The correct answer is option E, that is fine will be on company rupees 10,000 and rupees 100 per day for defaulting period, subject to maximum of 2 lakh rupees, and on officer in default there will be a fine of 10,000 and rupees 100 per day for defaulting period, subject to maximum of 50,000 rupees. So that will be the fine for non-compliance of these provisions. Friends, through this amendment, penal amount is reduced for both company and officer in default. So they reduce the penalty for the non-compliance of this section. Question number 20. In case an auditor resigned from the company, section 140 subsection 2 and 3, he has to file a statement with the company and registrar or CAG in case of a government company. What will be the penalty in case of a non-compliance of these provisions by the auditor? So option A 50,000 or amount equals to remuneration, whichever is less. Option B, for continuing failure rupees 500 per day till such default continue, maximum of 5 lakh. Option C, for continuing failure rupees 500 per day till such defaults continue, subject to maximum of rupees 2 lakh. D, that is either 50,000, option A, or option B, or your last option, that is option A and option C. So yes, what's the correct answer? The correct answer is option E, that is he will be liable for a fine of rupees 50,000 or amount equals to remuneration, whichever is less. And if there is a continuing default that is not reported for say 10 days, so for that 10 days he have be liable for rupees 500 per day till such default continues, subject to maximum of rupees 2 lakh. So I hope this is clear. Friends, through this amendment, maximum amount of penalty for continued default is reduced from 5 lakh to rupees 2 lakh. So they reduce the maximum amount that will be charged as a fine in case of a continuing default. So from earlier 5 lakh, now they reduce to 2 lakh. So I hope it is clear. So now let's move on to the next question.